What happens when you combine a Jolt attack rail, an included attachment, and the Doomlane series? You get this. Hey guys, SirMikay here, and today we are going to be doing a video review on the Nerf Holdout. Let's get right to it. Starting up with the elephant in the room, you may have noticed this scope here. It is an included attachment. It does not need to be bought separately. We'll be reviewing that after the blaster itself. So for the blaster itself, up here is an orange piece to indicate that it is a toy gun. There are orange parts on it otherwise, so if for some reason you're not able to see this part, don't worry. There's other orange parts on this, so you know it's a toy gun. But yeah, this is also a front loader, so this is also where you load the blaster. Moving back, we've got the tack rail here. I would personally put the scope on there, but you could also put a flashlight or something. Vertical grip, I guess. Or, if I had it, I would put the worker rail connector on it. If they do make rail connectors, but I would put a rail connector on here. Because then I can attach it to another blaster, which would be really useful for a sidearm. Because it would literally be a sidearm if I attached it to like the mediator or something. Because it's on the side of your primary. Get it? I'll stop now. Anyways, here's the Doomlands logo, Nerf logo. That way, of course, you can tell it's a Nerf brand blaster. They also painted it clear here, or painted it clear as Coop772 would say. I also personally use that term. I don't know why. Maybe because I started watching Coop and his reviews, so I know what to buy and what not to buy. But yeah, I like how you can also see some of the internals of the gun working, which I really wish this were on more Nerf blasters, but this will do for now. This is the priming handle. It is very similar to the Jolt, and of course to prime the blaster you just pull back on this, and of course to trigger the blaster you just pull this trigger. The trigger pull is actually really nice and lightweight. I personally really like it. It's a very comfortable blaster for me. As well as this grip here. I've heard a lot of people saying they don't really like the Doomlands grips. I personally disagree. Now, I'm not flaming you if you don't like them, but I'm just saying I personally find them very comfortable. Anyways, that is the external overview on the blaster itself. Now for the scope, this is an end strike attachment point. So, you can attach this to any rail on your blaster. It is cross-compatible with all blasters that have rails. Well, except the Dart Tag Fire Strike, because the rail on that thing sucks. You've also got sights here, in case you'd rather use those instead of the scope itself. But looking through the scope, I actually kind of like this. For an unmodded Nerf attachment, I personally find this one really decent. And, you also cannot take this thing apart. It is entirely composed of plastic. There's no screws or anything, so you can't modify the attachment, unlike with the Recon flashlight. That's how I made my custom flashlight attachment. But yeah, you cannot disassemble the scope. It is permanently assembled this way. There are no screws, nothing that you can unscrew or anything. It is permanently assembled this way, and it cannot be taken apart. Now, a detail that I personally think is somewhat overlooked are these little notches on top of the scope. These are actually ammo storage, in case you didn't know. And it's really convenient if you just don't feel like grabbing darts from your gear. If you want, you can just quickly grab a dart from up top here, and then load it into your blaster. I mean, seriously, how convenient is that to have ammo storage on a scope? That would be, oh yeah, that is really nice. Anyways, that is it for the external overview. Let's get into functionality. Moving on to functionality, I'll only be reviewing the blaster itself for this, because the scope itself, well, it's a scope. All you really need to do is look through it or attach it to a blaster. So yeah, there's really nothing to go over for the scope, but anyways, This is a front-loading blaster. To load, you just load in a dart through the barrel. Then to prime the blaster, you pull back this priming handle, and then you're ready to fire once. This tack rail up here, this does indicate that you can put attachments on here. You actually can put attachments on this blaster, which I find really nice. I could get a rail connector and then attach the rail connector to another rail of another blaster, and then boom, I have this mounted on another blaster, which would be really nice if I had a rail connector, which I do not. But yeah. The notch on this rail, though, it is a hard notch, so I would not put my flashlight attachment on it. I would only put it on a spring notch, purely because the flashlight attachment isn't sturdy. It isn't sturdy enough for my liking if I'm trying to put it onto a hard notch. But yeah, I would rather go with something like the included scope, or maybe even ammo storage, but certainly not a custom zip-tied attachment. No thank you. Anyways, that is it for functionality. Let's see it fire. One more thing before the firing procedure. It does come with these included Doomlands darts. These are what I will be using for the actual firing test. Anyways, let's see it fire. Firing without the scope. Now firing with the scope. Now on to the conclusion. Is this blaster worth buying? It depends. Because I personally really think this grip is comfortable. I personally think the blaster performance in general is really comfortable. It's got solid FPS. And I just really like this as a sidearm. But I don't know what you think. Do you like this blaster or do you hate it? Would you use this blaster as a sidearm or would you take a different one? I really don't know, but either way, I will be putting a link to order this blaster in the comments, and it will be pinned. But anyways, that is going to conclude my review on the Nerf Holdout. Thank you all so much for watching, and goodbye.